Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Divyanka and I'm a doctor of pharmacy here in the US. On this channel, I provide resources to help both you and I live our best and most productive life. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to generally improve your interview skills overall and over time to land your dream job. We all know how important interviews are in getting that dream job, but I think we all have to realize that interview skills and performing in an interview is not only an art, but those skills actually grow over time. Now, I do this too. I generally only prep for interviews when it is interview time, when I have interviews lined up. But honestly, overall best practice would be to really work on those skills over time. Now, I think that a lot of the skills that make a successful interview aren't just central to the interview. Great interpersonal skills, great communication skills, being able to get to the point when you're talking to someone or giving an answer. These are all skills that can help you in your professional and personal life overall. And of course, if you work on those skills and get better and improve, your interview skills will then automatically improve as well. So before I talk about these tips that are really going to help you improve your interview skills, I want you to go in with that mindset. This is a long game. This is not just about the interview that you have tomorrow, but this is about growing those skills for the interview that you're going to have next year, the year after that. Just like how you put in so many hours and so many years into schooling, into getting a degree to be able to be viable for a job position, in the same way, you should really work on your interview skills, your communication skills, and all those little soft skills for many, many years. So I just wanted to say that I want you guys to go in with that mindset. These aren't going to be things that can just switch on and off. These are things that might influence your personality. It really all is about the overall picture. So that's really what I'm trying to convey. I hope you guys kind of get that. I hope you go in with that mindset. And without further ado, let's talk about these tips. The first step in performing well in an interview is to actually just be yourself. And I know you're probably like, this is the most cliche advice that anyone could give. And I know we hear it all the time. Be yourself in an interview. You'll do your best. And I think that that catches a lot of people off guard because you're nervous. You're not actually able to be your true self. And I think a lot of people kind of dismiss it. By being yourself, I don't mean be unprofessional. You still have to dot all your I's, cross all your T's to make sure you're coming across with all of those standards that you do want in an interview, but don't let that strip you of your personality. If you feel a certain way towards something, if you have something to share in an interview, don't be afraid to kind of go out of the template that you've set yourself up with. I know a lot of you, interview prep and you memorize your answers and you're working to really perform your best. But when you kind of pigeonhole yourself like that, you're not able to have a conversation with the other person and you're not actually able to show your true self and personality. So the first step is definitely to enter an interview calmly so you can actually be your true self. So whatever you have to do, whether, rushing makes you anxious, make sure you're prepared 10 to 15 minutes before, make sure you've interview prepped, days and days before. You know yourself, do what's best for you, and make sure that you can show up as your best self. Now, when it comes to responses, I'll give you a few examples. I was actually in a fellowship interview, and with fellowship interviews, they usually take the first 5 to 10 minutes to tell you about the fellowship program, what that fellowship is really about. And that's really important because honestly, from the job description, most fellowships sound the same. And so while this person on the other side was actually giving me that whole spiel about what this fellowship is, what the company does, etc., I started to realize this isn't exactly what I applied for. It wasn't really what I was looking for, and the more she was talking about the position, the more I couldn't see myself in that position. Now, if you guys have gone to mid-year or if you know anything about it and the application process for fellowships, it's craziness. You have 30-minute back-to-back interviews almost all day, and on this day specifically, I remember I had 12 interviews back-to-back. Now, I'm mentioning that because there isn't much time. You only have 30 minutes, but everyone's drained, everyone's tired. It's a long day. And honestly, nobody has time to waste if you're not interested in the program or if they're not interested in you. You would never want to go through a whole interview process, go through 3, 4, 5 rounds, and then at the end, not get it and realize they were never interested. That's not an ideal situation for anyone. So, as my interviewer was telling me about the program, and as I realized that this wasn't really something I could see myself doing, I wasn't really interested. After she kind of gave her spiel, I said that. I was very, very blunt. I was very honest. And I was like, thank you so much for that information. This seems like a great company. I said again what I genuinely felt about what she had just said. And then I went on to say, but I'm looking for XYZ. And when I applied to this position, I had assumed that the role was as such. But after you kind of gave me that little rundown, I realized that it may not be something that I'm actually looking for. So I don't want to waste your time. I know we're really tired, and I know midyear has been crazy, and I know you have many, many other candidates. So instead of wasting your time, I would just like to tell you that I really appreciate your time right now, but I don't think I'm interested in this fellowship anymore. I know you have other extremely excited and viable candidates, so I don't want to put myself in the pool when I'm genuinely not interested. So I would just like to let you know that. Yes, I actually said that in an interview. And again, I wasn't trying to waste her time. I wasn't trying to waste mine. I didn't want to go through 4 more rounds of interviews for this thing that I wasn't really interested in. So that's what I mean by be yourself. I didn't have to be rude. I didn't have to be unprofessional, but I said what was on my mind, and I was very, very blunt about it. So I mean, you don't have to go to that extent, but that's what I mean by being yourself. Actually think when you're in an interview. You know, it's very easy to just go through an interview passively, not think because you're nervous, you're answering questions. All of these things are happening, but actually take a step back and think about yourself in the position that the other person is talking about. Now, that's just one example of really being yourself, but I wanted to share that example because I don't think a lot of people would have the guts to do that. And I genuinely felt like that. I didn't want that fellowship. So again, why would I waste that person's time and my time? Hopefully that example kind of gave you insight into what I mean. Don't change your personality. Don't change your wants. Don't change your goals for the interview. Make sure that that interview, make sure that that role fits into what you want as well, and show that if the role is really ideal for you, again, be very honest, be very blunt and upfront about that. Like, hey, I've been interviewing for 50 positions, and this is the first position that I feel like is actually right for me. Again, saying those really honest tidbits really, really helps. So whatever you need to do to really understand who you are and how your personality can shine in an interview, please do that. It is so well worth it. And with that technique, you'll 100% land a position you're actually happy in. My next tip is to always be punctual, organized, professional, and calm in an interview. Now, you might be thinking that these are, again, cliches. We know to do this, but let me tell you why I'm even highlighting this. In almost every role, you want someone who is detail-oriented. Now, a lot of times in an interview, you will kind of change your answer to be like, hey, I'm detailed oriented in this way and in that way. But what matters more is actually showing them. So you can say it as much as you want, like, I'm detail oriented, I did this in this job, I did this in this job, and those are some examples to show that I'm detail oriented. That's great, and you can definitely infuse that into some of your answers, but instead of telling them, I prefer showing them. So when you are organized, when you're calm and collected, when you act professionally, and when you arrive on time, all those little things show the other person that you are detail-oriented. You don't have to say it, they'll see it. And again, actions do speak a lot louder than words. So again, I would actually prefer if you just never said that word, but actually just showed them, and this is one of those ways. My next tip is to work on being genuinely excited in an interview. Don't be excited and just say, oh my God, I'm so excited to possibly be a part of this company just because it sounds like the right thing to say. When you do your research on the company, find the things that actually excite you about that company and bring those things up. Again, if you show that excitement as like a personality trait or actually show them like, oh my God, I saw that, this company has this outreach program and I found it really interesting because, I do this on the side. I'm really interested in that. And that was just something that caught my eye about the company. You want to pull out things about the company, about the role, about the person who's interviewing you that genuinely excite you, because A, if you actually get the role and you weren't excited about those things, it'll show. And B, again, you are more likely to then land the role that's actually right for you. Here, again, you want to show them instead of telling them. Everyone wants someone who's excited about the work at the company. Everyone wants someone who's going to have that motivation to actually perform well. So again, instead of telling them, show them through your excitement, through the things you say, and generally your overall demeanor. It goes so far. My next tip is to ask the right questions. And yes, this is a skill. Again, this kind of goes hand in hand with showing overall interest towards the position and showing your real personality. The way you ask questions and the questions you ask show a lot about you. It'll show how deeply you've looked into the role. It'll show the knowledge or lack thereof you have of either the role or the company. So again, this is a skill and something that you need to work on. Don't just ask questions because everyone tells you that you should in an interview. Sit down. Think about, okay, what conversations have I had in my past job? This didn't work out so well. So how am I going to ask about that so that I can kind of get an idea of, how this team really is, what this company is really like, all of those things. Honestly, these questions are more for you. Like, don't just ask questions because, again, you're told to. Get the answers you need to make a solid choice of like, is this role even good for you? So not only will it help you in the general interview to ask good questions, but it's going to help you. It's for you. At the end of the day, you want that dream job. So make sure the positions you're interviewing for are actually going to offer you that. My next tip is to always know what value you bring to the table. This is so important. Think about this. At the end of the day, they are filling a job position to get some work done. So you need to show them that you're not only capable of doing the work that they really need someone for, but you're also capable of making that group better, of making your team better, of doing excellent work, of going above and beyond. All of those things are really what matter at the end of the day. So if you know that, still do all of the things that I've been telling you, but make sure you're kind of showing what you can bring to the table and how you're actually going to help, because you could be a great candidate, you could be smart, you could have all the technical skills, but if they don't see you solving their problem, they're not going to want you. Give it to them on a platter. Be like, this is your problem. This is how I will help you. And again, show that, talk about it, whatever you need to do. Show them your true value. And last but not least, the last tip I have for you is about the mindset you go into an interview with. And that is to go into an interview with a marketing mindset. Now, I don't care what degree you've done. I have not done a marketing degree. I don't know that much about marketing, but you know that in a marketing position, in a sales position, you are trying to market a product. You are trying to get someone to buy something. If you were a sales rep and you had to create a pitch to get a product to sell, to convince someone to buy what you have to offer, you would come up with a bunch of reasons as to, why this is the ideal product for that person. Do the same exact thing in an interview, but in an interview, you are the product and you're selling yourself to the company you're interviewing with. Now, why I say go in with that marketing mindset is because when you think like that, you go in with that mindset of, okay, what is the value here? Why would I even want this product? How does this product fill a gap in the market? Those are the types of questions you would ask, again, regarding selling a product. So do the same exact thing for yourself. Look at the company as the customer, look at yourself as the product, and see, okay, how can I pull out the things that actually matter to XYZ company that's actually going to make me marketable and will convince XYZ company to actually buy the product. Think of yourself as a brand. All of those things that matter about a brand, make sure you're completing your own profile and showing your personal brand in the way that you really want to. If you go in with this focus every single time that, at the end of the day, what is the goal here, and you put your foot forward to show them your value, I promise you your interviews will go so much better. This is something I've learned over time by just having an interest in branding and marketing through social media and all these things. And it all ties together. At the end of the day, you're kind of doing the same things. You have to kind of just pull those principles, apply it to yourself in this interview situation, and make it work for you. Overall, those were my 6 tips to help you in improving your interview skills to land your dream job. Again, this is a long-term game, so you're gonna listen to this video and I hope this is something you save because you might need to listen to it more than once. It's really helpful for me to, write the things down that I really need to make sure I'm thinking about before every interview so that I can review it and be like, okay, mindset, marketing mindset, got it. What value do I bring? Highlighting those things. That's what I mean by interview prep when I say interview prep. I don't just mean, practice questions, think of examples, memorize your answers. All that is fine and good, but everyone does that. Do these little things that are gonna make you stand out as a candidate, and again, hopefully help you land that dream job. Overall, I hope this was really helpful for you guys. I'm really trying to pull out as much information as I know from my personal experience to share with you because I really do think it all matters so much. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm. You guys have been so supportive and I want to keep bringing you guys this kind of helpful information. So please do your girl a favor, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, all of that good stuff. And as always, you guys will see me in the next video.